it's Sav here. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to make mini or bite-sized Spam musubis. This is pretty much what it is. You can call it Spam and Egg Kimbap. You can call it Spam and Egg musubis. You can call it whatever you want. All you have to know is that they are delicious. We are a very busy family, so I constantly have to feed the kids after school, and we'll go straight to an extracurricular activity, and it can get pretty crazy in between dance, taekwondo, we picked up basketball, and then there'll be jiu-jitsu starting in October. It gets pretty crazy, so I have to make sure I have something on hand for the kids to eat or to snack on that's still delicious but also easy. This recipe also makes a really good and filling school lunch for your kids. Keep watching and I'll show you guys all the things that you'll need. To make the marinade for your Spam, you'll need a 1/4 cup of very hot water plus 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 tablespoon of Maggi seasoning or soy sauce, 2 teaspoons of Marinade, which is a Japanese rice wine. Finally, 2 teaspoons of sesame oil. Mix well and set this mixture aside. Next, you want to take your low sodium Spam, and I like to cut them into 6 even slices at first. You can cut them smaller if you like them smaller. And then I'm going to take my 6 pieces and place them into a shallow container, take my marinade, completely cover up the Spam and let it sit at room temp for about 30 minutes. I have 4 eggs that I'm going to lightly season with a bit of salt and also a bit of pepper. The actual recipe, I'm going to scale it down by about half because I'm making extra today and you won't need this many. You want to lightly beaten it, and then we are going to fry up our eggs. I have a hot pan here that I'm adding in some oil. I'm going to throw in my eggs all at once. This is on medium-high heat for about 4 extra large eggs. If you use less eggs, you don't need the heat that high. So you want to swirl the pan a good couple of times to evenly distribute that egg. And then when it's cooked on the bottom, just get in there with your flat spatula, go around the outer edges, and just flip. Once your eggs are cooked through, you want to remove them from the heat, cut them into thin strips, and then set them aside. Into the same pan on medium-high heat, I'm going to add in my Spam. You want to cook the Spam until lightly golden brown. Then you want to flip your pieces over. And then you want to take some of that marinade and pour it in, about half of it. And you don't want to put too much, just enough so that it'll kind of slowly evaporate. It'll caramelize, get nice and thick and gooey. Once your sauce has thickened up and become caramelized, you can tell it's slightly bubbling there. Just flip over your Spam, remove these from the heat, and cut into thin strips. Into a large mixing bowl, I have 4 cups of cooked rice. To that, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of sushi vinegar, 3 teaspoons of extra virgin olive oil, 1 tablespoon of furikake, which is a Japanese rice seasoning, a nice pinch of salt, and also a tiny pinch of black pepper. Mix this all together really well and your rice filling is ready. Now it's time to assemble. You will need some roasted seaweed, and when you're assembling these, you want to make sure that the shiny side part is facing down. I place my seaweed on my bamboo sushi mat. On top of my seaweed, I'm going to add in 2 scoops of cooked warm rice. If I had to guess, this is about 1 cup of rice or so. And you want to make sure your rice is kept warm because your seaweed will adhere a lot better to it. And then you take your hands, dip it into some warm water, and just use that to gently flatten out your rice. This is going to make sure that the rice doesn't stick to your fingers and it gets nice, even, and flat. I like to leave about a 1/2 inch space on the bottom and top of the rice or the seaweed just so that it gets a nice tight roll for me Don't be afraid to keep dipping your fingers into that water to flatten out the rice. Now we're going to add in your egg pieces. I like to use about 2 pieces and I kind of stack them. Right next to the eggs will go 2 pieces of Spam. And that's it. Just take your seaweed, cover your Spam and your egg, make it really tight and just roll. Now the bamboo mat is completely optional. I like to use it because it just ensures that my kimbap is nice and tight, and it kind of pushes the rice into the seaweed, and it just makes everything adhere a lot better. So now I'm just going to take my bamboo mat and just roll over that kimbap, and see I'm kind of pushing my hands away from each other to make sure that the bamboo mat is really nice and tight and secure. And I'm just going to hold it for several seconds. Again, this part is completely optional. Roll it out and you're done. Nice, pretty, and perfect. Finally, you want to take some extra virgin olive oil and just lightly coat the outsides of your kimbap. You can use sesame oil for this part, but just my family prefers extra virgin olive oil. And all that's left is just to slice and serve. First, you want to cut off the ends. Now, of course, these don't go in the garbage. You just pop those ends into your mouth and call it a day. Depending on how thick you slice these, you can get about 8 to 10 pieces. I like to season with half furikake and half sesame seeds. I kid you not, to get me to eat Spam, it has to be made just like this. It has to be wrapped up in some rice with some seaweed. That is the only way, or else I will not touch it. And this is a favorite. My kids will eat this all up after school. This makes a really good school lunch too. All you have to do is fry up your Spam the night before, fry up your eggs, slice everything, put into the refrigerator. The next morning takes like 10 minutes to put together. All you have to do fresh is out of the rice pot, you want to take out your rice. That's when you do that and season it, and just get your seaweed paper out and just assemble. It's super easy and not messy, and that is a good thing. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Bye.